So I was trying to figure out which video to record next. I started this YouTube channel. I want to share my experience. I enjoy doing that, and I've seen a lot of terms in this tool that I'm using about bootcamps. Unfortunately, I also see a lot of negative things about bootcamps, and I think I have to say that's slightly unfair, but to some degree also justified. So let me actually just decipher this. I used to teach at the bootcamp for 5.5 years, part-time, relative to my full-time job, and then at one point I got a child and stuff, so I didn't have more time to spend apart from my full-time job, so I just had to stop. The main benefit and almost the only benefit of bootcamps is the mentor. So it's the person that you're meeting several times a week. Usually when I was teaching, it was 2 or 3 times a week. Unfortunately, at one point, a lot of these bootcamps, they got very greedy, so they even cut down these hours, even though the mentors themselves would get paid the least. So keep in mind, if you ever were part of the bootcamp, or if you're planning to be part of one, mentors, which are the most valuable resource of bootcamps, are absolutely getting paid the least. So to cut this video short, do I suggest a bootcamp? I do not, unfortunately, and let's break down this. So what you get at some of these bootcamps is job guarantee. You get the curriculum, which is completely useless because you can find this online anywhere, basically steps in which you want to learn specific things. You get a mentor and you get some career services. So these career services, they say they're going to teach you how to write a CV, how to apply for a job and stuff. I'm sure that you're not 11 years old, and I'm sure that you can figure out how to apply for a job yourself. It's not rocket science, and I'm sure you can figure out for free how to write a CV, so you don't really need a mentor for that. In fact, even if you do need it, your mentor can help you review that. You can also review your CV on Twitch streams, and various other resources which are free. Job guarantee is very tough. It's true. When I worked at Thinkful, students did have job guarantee, meaning if you managed to finish the bootcamp in a given time span, for example 6 months, and you didn't get a job, within 3 months you would get your money back. And that was a super great deal. Unfortunately, what you don't know is that less than around 20% of students actually finish a bootcamp at all, let alone finish it in a timely manner. So of course bootcamps were very eager to give this job guarantee because they would get many students there, and they kind of knew that very few people will actually have a continuity, dedication, discipline to sit for 40-50 hours a week for 6 months and study something that's fundamentally very hard. I recently recorded a video called Programming is Hard here on my YouTube channel. If you haven't, please check it out. So, and then if we decipher that one, at the end we're left with the mentor. We're left with a person that's going to be your friend throughout the journey. Why am I saying a friend? Well, let me tell you a story. So for these 5.5 years at Thinkful, there were many circumstances when my students didn't actually have many questions. Technically, some of them did well. But whatsoever, the support that I got from me as a person, as a human being, is something that if I ever get a message in LinkedIn from my ex-students who succeeded, who are professionals today, it's exactly about these things. Things like, Alex, thank you very much for pushing me, for being there for me, for keeping me accountable, for being a friend, etc., etc., etc. So when we talk about mentoring, we often forget the human part of this connection, the part that you don't have when you're sitting home alone and just studying on your own. You don't have accountability towards anyone. You don't feel any obligation towards anybody, right? You are just alone all the time. So even for these types of people that are very committed, very organized, very with continuity, with discipline, even if you fail there, you still don't have anybody to feel obligation towards. So having a mentor, just somebody to agree on certain things and work towards, is super invaluable. So besides that, having a mentor as well just helps you to not be alone. Like, let's imagine even that you don't need a session. You're like, hey, I don't have any questions. You would be surprised how many questions you have when you meet a mentor. Because sometimes you might think, yeah, I don't know what to ask. But when you meet a mentor and then the mentor starts, okay, hey, this is what you did. Why did you do this? Why did you not do this, etc., etc. This is where the most learning happens. So no matter what, sometimes you're going to be thinking, yeah, I don't actually have anything to ask. Trust me, you always, always, always have something to ask. I really wish I can show you the messages that I got over the years from my ex-students who are now, some of them are arguably even better than me, maybe some of them were highly talented, but unfortunately many of them didn't succeed as well. simply because, yeah, of their life circumstances, of the marketing of these bootcamps. These bootcamps will often say, hey, you need to put 20 hours a week to finish. It's an absolute lie. You will not finish this program or learn sufficient if you only put 20 hours a week. It's absolutely impossible. So anyway, to round up this video, I think that investing your money into, having somebody, some person to teach you, to be there for you, to be a friend, is the best investment you can make in your career. Keep in mind that here I'm not just talking about entry-level developers or somebody who's thinking to learn basics. I'm talking about you can be an expert and you can still benefit from a mentor. You can be a senior, a junior, a mid-level, a tech lead, a CTO. There's always somebody out there that can teach us something, that can give us a direction, etc., etc., etc. If you need any tips about this, if you need any opinions, don't forget I worked at 2 universities. I worked at the bootcamp for 5.5 years. I have sufficient amount of knowledge about this to really answer most of the questions. So if you have some, please write them down. As always, I'll make sure to answer. And yeah, I hope you find this video useful as always. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.